Hi, this is A. Whistling. That ain't tells you like a TI is. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribe. Topic I'm going to talk to you today about Bell Collective. Bell Collective season 5, well I think it's 6. Anyway, season 6, episode 2 called Poly. It started off with Lateshia having lunch at a restaurant and she decided to invite Kerri. And she said that in a confessional that she is a businesswoman, an entrepreneur, a lawyer, and a Bears woman. Don't play on her name. I said, huh, Bears woman. That's right, I guess so. And so she said that she wanted to start a relaunch a relaunch of her brunch business. And so she said, by Kerri being a newbie, Kerri should be the main one to help us since Kerri know about event planning and stuff. And she was saying she wanted to get to know Kerri anyway. And so Kerri showed up at the restaurant, and they kind of greeted each other, hugged out, things like that. And then after that, Kerri sat down and she said, Kerri, well, yes, I want to have a relaunch, a relaunch for my for my brunch event. And she said, I thought you'd be the perfect one to help me set up the event. So she said, oh yeah, yeah, I sure would. What you want going on? She said, like I said, I'm relaunching my business. And I think you should be the right one to help me do it. She said, I kind of want to do it as a brunch and have a and have like a I think that she said have like an all white theme or something like this. Oh yeah, we can do that. We can do that. And then she said, and then she said, and then she said, what do you think about what happened? What do you think about what happened at the last event, Marie's party? And then, Kerri said, yeah, I was surprised that she had two dates at the party. And then Lakeisha said, well, the last time I heard, she was dating Cedric. Her and Cedric got away. So when Martin came in, I was surprised. See, I was surprised too. It's so weird the way Marie was acting and stuff. And she said, I just wanted to get to the bottom of it. To the bottom. She said, I do too. She said, but what is, hopefully all of us girls could get together and work on our relationship. That's what Letitia was saying. And then it switched to the next scene, and the next scene was Marie talking to Essie at a mental health facility, and she said, "How you doing, Essie?" Essie said, "Well, I'm doing good. I'm doing pretty good now. I'm doing pretty good going through my cancer and research and stuff. But I'm doing good. I'm doing good." She said, "Okay." She said, it's another facility that we want to open up. She said, "Yeah, it's kind of out." She said, "I want to go in and look at it and check it out." She said, "We can go and look at it, check it out later." And Essie said, "Well, how you doing, Marie?" Marie said, "I'm doing all right." She said, "Yeah, with all the stuff that kind of went on at your party, I was wondering what was going on." She said, "Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot and stuff." And so Esther said, "Well, how did you invite both of these dates?" She said, "Well, I asked Cedric first, and Cedric said he didn't think he was coming. And so when he said he didn't know if he was coming, he had to think about it. But to me, that was a no. So I decided to invite Morton. And then little did I know that Cedric's gonna change his mind. She said, "Oh, Marie, you like it?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "We gotta get that straightened out and settled up." She said, "But right now, I want to talk to you about opening up a next facility." And then it switched to the next scene, and the next scene was Marie at her house talking to Cedric, and Cedric said, "Well, what's going on, Marie? What's going on with us? Do you think we really need to be in this relationship and stuff?" And she said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, do you really want me?" She said, "Yeah, I love you, Cedric." And Cedric said, "Well, what about Morton?" She said, "Cedric, when you told me that you wasn't gonna come to my party, and you said you that thing about, I thought you just wanted us to be friends and roommates, so I decided to invite Morton." He said, "No." He said, "No, I told you had to think about it." He said, "Maybe we need to think about this relationship too." And so in a confessional, Marie said that Cedric had lost his mama and also had lost his job a little bit after that. And by him being the baby daddy of her children, she decided to let him come stay with her for a little while. And I said, "Marie, you just let that man stay with you because when you said at your point that Morton ghosted you, so you sure want to have somebody do a storyline with. We already know what's going on, Marie. But anyway, She tried to make like she dating two men. But anyway, Cedric said, well, I really like you. And, we married, and I'm trying to reconnect with you and stuff. So maybe we should take this relationship a little bit more slower than what you're going on. Marie said, well, I'm just saying that, yeah, that's the only reason why I invited him. And then Cedric said, well, when I talked to him individually, separately, I asked him what was going on with you and him, and what was going on with you and him, when you and him dating or whatever. And he gonna tell me he's still married. Marie, huh? What, he's still married? I said, Marie, he told me he was still married. We said, well, he didn't tell me that. He said, I'm just telling you what he told me individually, Marie. And so, and so after that, like I said, Marie, if you're not ready to get back into a relationship with me, you just let me know, and I'll find a way to work around this and move. I said, no, you stay here instead. So it's went to the next scene. The next scene was Selena. I'm really not going to talk to you about this too much because it's the same old. She fussing with fussing with I think his name Mark or I think his name is Mark or something. And talking about their communication skills. She said the same thing. He said the same thing in episode one. So I'm just gonna pass over this. But anyway, let's switch to the next episode. I mean to the next scene. Uh, and the next scene was let me pause and start to get some water right quick. Okay, I'm back. The next scene was Lakeisha going to her brunch event, and she went to set up and oversee what was going on. She said, "Oh, this looks nice. This looks nice." Kerri did a good job. Kerri did a real nice, real nice. The next thing you know, the ladies started showing up. Uh, ladies started showing up. It started being I think it started with Latrice first, and then Tambria. And then Kerri walked in, and we all know we was the last one. But anyway, they all walked in and said everything looked nice, everything looked pretty. And Lakeisha got up there and said her little speech about how she really liked doing brunches, and she was interested in brunches, and this is like a relaunch or of a relaunch of you know of a brunch event stuff, and she really liked doing that stuff. And so Marie finally arrived. She finally came in, and so everybody said, "How you doing, Marie? How you doing?" He said, "Marie, you doing good? You doing good?" And then Letitia said, "You are you sure you're really doing good, Marie? What's going on with you and Cedric and stuff?" She said, "What?" She said, "Last time I saw you, at your party, at your event, you had two dates. You had Cedric and you had Morton. What went on? What happened to that?" And then Kerri chimed in and interjected and said, "Yeah, I thought that was weird for you having two dates at your party, two dates at your party." And we said, "Y'all all up in my business. Y'all all want to know what I'm doing my business. What y'all doing? What y'all doing?" And then Letitia said, "We just want to know, Marie. We just want to know what's going on. Are you with Cedric or are you with Martin?" And then so Latrice said, when she chimed in, said, "Well, last time I saw Marie, last time I saw Marie when I was out, Marie was with a new man." And then Marie looked kind of funny because she wasn't expecting Latrice to say that because Latrice had told her that in episode one. But anyway, she said, "I'm tired of y'all all of a minute." He said, what happened? Me and Cedric have been separated. Cedric was living his own life, and so I decided to date, and so I met Morgan at this event, and then me and Morgan went out to have drinks, and then after me and Morgan went out to have drinks, he took me boat riding. We had this show flashback when we on the boat and stuff, and she was having a good time, and they said right after that he didn't he kind of ghosted me. He didn't answer my calls and he didn't answer my texts, and it seemed like he ghosted me. And then right after that I found out that Cedric had lost his mom and his job. And so like I said, by him being the father of my kids, I decided that he could come and live with me, we could be roommates, and maybe we could reconnect. And then the teacher said, okay. And then so she said, yeah, like I said last time I seen her, she had a new man. I said, "What's going on with one? What's going on with one?" She said, "I don't know what's going on with one." Like I said, after the boat ride, he hadn't contacted me no more and stuff like that. So I guess I'm gonna try to go ahead on and stick around and be with Cedric. I was saying, yeah, because you know you need Cedric for your storyline this time and the rest of the show. And so and so Latrice was saying, you know, I know Selena gonna be here, and she said the convention. I know Selena gonna be here, and I don't know, but I don't know if I really want to talk to Selena after what she did to me with Taste. And she said, I'm just here to support my girl, and I'm still gonna get Glendale the shade. That was in the confession. And so what happened? Selena was over there talking, and then she came over there, and Selena was saying her confession that she really wanted, if she really want to get talk to Latrice, and she said her and Latrice can work things out. So while Latrice is over there sitting down talking to somebody, Selena came over and said, Latrice, can we talk for a little minute? Can we talk for a little minute? Latrice looked kind of funny. Said, "Okay, well," she said, "Latrice, I know you felt some kind of way because I was supposed to help you and bartend at Taste." She said, "But then you know, like I told you, I had a car accident, and then right after that, I had my car accident. My my oldest son who passed away, his dog had died, and so then, you know, by me having that dog kind of reminded me of my son. So that's why." I was saying, but hopefully we can forgive each other and move on from it. And then so Latrice said, "Well, you should have told me that you had a car wreck. You didn't tell me nothing. I was just thinking you just didn't want. So you could have told me you had a car wreck and the stuff that was going on." She said, "By you not texting me or emailing me or telling me that, I was just thinking you ghosted me and you don't want to be a bartender no more." She said, No, I wasn't like that." She said, "But I was. I ain't gonna lie to you, Selena. I was my feelings. I was my feelings." And Selena said, "Yeah, I felt kind of way too." She said, "Can we get makeup and move on?" And Latrice said, "Yeah, we can make a move on." So they went on and made them and got a little hug and went on about their way. And then Marie said, "Since everybody all up in my business, let's play a game. Let's play a game." And they said, "Yeah." And then Marie said, "What's the game, Marie?" Marie said, have any of y'all ladies been cheated on or have somebody cheated on y'all? And who was it?" And then Latrice said in that confession, why did Marie bring up that question, knowing that Glenn cheated on Lakeisha and Letitia, and also knowing that Letitia was here, and so and so and so everybody looked kind of funny, and nobody really said nothing. And then it got quiet. Then switched to the next scene, and the next scene was Selena going to see her daughters, and she told her daughters that she was glad that she wanted to see them because she was saying I think she said Star, her other daughter was having a baby, and Sanjay had just had a baby, so she wanted to go over there and see the grandchildren. And so they were saying, "How you doing, Mom?" He said, "I'm doing all right, doing all right." Say everything going on good with you. I think his name is Mark. And she said, "Yeah, but we having a few communication problems." And they said, "Communication problems, what is it?" He said, "It's certain things that he didn't tell me about, and I found out about later, and stuff like that." And so I was looking at this, and as we engaged and we really getting married, we supposed to be talking, we supposed to be sharing everything with each other, 50-50. And then so, Star said, "Mama, Star said, Mama, you know, when you met him, you know, our brother had just passed, and you know, all of us was grieving, and it took us a while to get over our grief. Do you think that you rushed into the relationship?" She said, "No, I don't think I rushed into the relationship. I was ready. I was ready." And then Sanjay said, Are you sure you ready, Mama? Because like I'm saying, it took us a while to get over our brother too." And so, and she said, "Nah, I had to go ahead on and move on. I just couldn't sit there and keep on standing still, keep on breathing." I was saying, your daughters are right, Star and Sanjay. Selena, you did move on real fast. So, but, you moved on real fast so you could cover up your grief, and you just don't want to believe it. And so I just say, "Well, Mama, all we want you to do is be happy." In her confession, she said, "Yeah, her daughters really like that man stuff." And I was saying, from what I saw the looks on them daughters' faces when she was telling what was going on, them daughters ain't really too keen on him. They're just telling her to pacify that because they don't want their mama mad at them. And then they switched to the next scene, and the next scene was, I think the next scene was, the Latrice and her husband talking about. the Taste restaurant and how good it was and all that type of stuff. And then she was saying, she called him Daddy, but his name was Clip. She said, Daddy, no, you know, I'm tired of going up to Chase and spending the night. I like to go home. I like to go home and spend that hour at our house we stay at. He said, like I told you, I have be doing a lot of work at Chase and be working overtime. I got to have somewhere to, I got to have somewhere to the rest and be in the company and stuff like that. She said, but I'm just saying, you could find some time to come home sometime. He said, well, I will. She said, as long as you stand up there, as long as you stand up there in that rooftop at Chase, I'm gonna be staying there with you. And I was saying, yeah, there's something going on where he really don't want to go back to the house no more. But anyway, now it switched to the next scene, and I think this was the last and final scene. It was about I think it was about I think it was about let me pause and get my notes right quick. Okay, I'm back. For my notes, that was the end of the scene. So now I'm going to talk about the cast photo. I like the cast photo. Some people were talking about they didn't like the cast photo because it was too plain. It was just blue and black with a background. And I was saying, to me, the blue and the black represented uh, black, beautiful, bold women. I said, but so many people had so many times looked like it was pasted around and Photoshop and this, that, and that. And I was saying that blue and black looked good. It started with all of them in the picture, and then it had Lateshia in the front, Marie on the other side of her, Latricia on the other side, on the other side of Lakeisha, and like I said, Marie was on one side, and Lakeisha was on another side. Somebody was saying on Instagram, not well, I saw it on Instagram, but reality TV entertainment the one posted it on Instagram, and so when I scrolled the picture, when I scrolled the picture to zoom it real big, you could tell, and somebody was saying why they got Letitia in the front. And I politely said the reason why I got Letitia in the front was because she is what they call HBIC, the star of the show. And I said she was on the show from the beginning, and also Marie and Latrice. I said, and all other ladies are kind of like new ladies that we getting to know and stuff like that. And so I said it was really good. They showed each individual picture, and all the ladies looked good, and they black and blue, and I really did like that. Now that's all I have for this video. This is Abe Wesley. That ain't even tells you like a TI is. I am out.